Hello, folks. It's Friday, August 26th, midnight. And I got a couple things I want to show you real quick. There's still a big giant vortex spinning above Texas. And this whole thing is spinning. If you watch it, this bottom side is spinning this way, and this top side is spinning this way. It's going in a big giant circle right above Texas, and I'm dead in the center of all this. I'm right here. See it pretty clearly here. I added new pieces on all of my dishes, and on the first dishes I made, the smaller ones, I added a whole nother ring of cones around the edge. That's the one that I have facing almost due north now, because I changed it. I changed that one to going like almost straight due north. You can see it up here having an effect. This whole blank spot up here is where the weather's not going through it. It's going that far actually. It's going almost straight due north. It's a little bit to the left, but not much. See, you can see it right here. This big hole in the weather right there. The one I have pointed towards California, I raised it a little bit, so it's a little bit more north, and I added more cones and balls and Orgone pieces to it, so it's having a better effect also. And the one going towards New York is still I left that one the same. I added some copper pipes to it, and you can see a big clearing right here where that's going that way. It's clearing all this, almost a straight line. You can see it perfectly right there. And the rest of it, like I said, is spinning. It's keeping Texas clear for now. There's going to be some rain tomorrow. Yeah, of course there's rain. I never said I'm going to stop the rain. What I do is I stop storms from hovering and causing damage, floods and power outages and stuff like that. Tornadoes, hurricanes mostly, but any kind of storm, because anytime there's weather that comes close to me, it shoots it down. If you watch it, that's why I leave these radar links, because you can check it every day and you can see that any storms that come even close to Houston get zapped, like this one right there. You see that? And all these in the south, because I have Icarus pointing this way, so that one's pointing, like, you can see how this clear path that it's leaving all the way down here, which is like would be impossible. You see that all the way down here from Houston. This is the area of interest. So here's a close up. Watch the way all this weather spins, because like I say, Orgone is like, if you look at it from the top view, it's a right hand spin, which means it's clockwise. So all the storms, if you watch an organized storm like a hurricane or a tornado, they always spin counterclockwise. So if this energy is making the whole weather, like in the big picture, turn clockwise, then any storm that comes in turning the opposite way, counterclockwise, can't survive in that. It'll cancel each other out, in other words. So the storm goes away. And you see right here, all this area where Icarus is pointing south, it just zaps it, turns it into purplish. Purple is just humidity, really. Green is light rain. And then red is storm. Like over here in Mexico, it's been raining in Mexico non-stop. Like this right here, it's been raining non-stop down there for a long time. And you can see it right here. And that's where the spin starts. On the bottom of Mexico, it starts spinning this way. And here's the middle part that's pivoting. And then this part on the top is spinning this way. And it all goes around Texas. This whole area right here is clean, is like darker, if you notice it. But that's just a heads up of what's going on right now. I'm going to try to piece together a couple more segments in here before I post the whole video. So, just to show you right now that there is definite effect of clearing in this area. This is GANS, which is the fourth state of matter, which is GANS stands for gas and aqueous nano state. And you can make several. This one is CO2 GANS, which is good for plants and for healing. And CO2 is not bad for the environment, folks. Plants eat it. So this heals you, and it super food for plants. And it also has FeO2, which has iron in it, and that's good for your blood. And it also has zinc, which is good for emotions. So all those, you can make a bunch of different kinds, but I have at least 3 or 4 kinds in there. That's why it's an orange color. Each little particle you see, once you get this water from the top, you can use this water and you can drink it. You can add it to anything that you consume. And it's super powered. It's got energy in it. You can put this in energy drinks. You can put it in alcohol drinks, and it'll cancel the effects of the alcohol, or the negative effects like the hanging over and all that. You can make smart drinks out of this, and it'll cure you and give you energy. And it also will curb your appetite. If you're hungry and you drink some of this pure, you won't be hungry anymore. It'll give you energy. I want to refill it to show you what it looks like up close and how each piece is like. Each small little piece that you see floating in nano size, it has the strength of a sun. And the energy never goes away. Once you make this stuff, all you have to do is just refill it with distilled water, and that stuff you see floating on the bottom will give it energy. You just have to let it settle. So I'm adding distilled water now. You see the stuff comes up. You can kind of see that. There's all kinds of sizes in there because of the nano coating. The process to make it, I'll make a different video on how to make it. It's very complicated, but it's kind of simple. It's a natural process. It uses copper that you basically burn it. You turn it black, and you let it grow. These nano particles, and it just using sea salt and distilled water in a jar. It just starts snowing like a snow globe, and that stuff starts snowing to the bottom. And that stuff right there is not a gas, it's not a liquid, it's not a solid, it's the fourth state of matter. The scientists don't even know about this shit. and it has so much energy in it because each little piece you see is the strength of a sun, nano size. So the energy that the water that after this settles down, the water you pull it off the top with a syringe like I just did, and you can use that in your daily affairs. You can drink a little bit of it, and if you get like food poisoning or something serious, you can chug like a half a glass of that shit, and you'll get energy like I don't know, like caffeine, like more than caffeine, but it has no side effects, and it'll cure. Like if you, I had food poisoning one time, and I drank some. I was up all night, and I felt like I was gonna die, and I drank like a half a glass of that stuff, and but in the morning I was fine. I've tested. I made this stuff myself, and it takes about a month to make it. So I put this on the inside of my GANs of my Orgone that I make. All those bubble pieces that I make, all those Orgone pieces, I put a little bit on the inside of each piece with a small little syringe. That stuff, that pure stuff, and the water. It doesn't really matter. You can use the water or that pure stuff. You don't really want to waste it. So you just let it settle on the bottom, and in an emergency, you could dry that stuff on the bottom, and it'll be like a cookie, and you can eat it. And if you eat like a small cookie of that, you probably wouldn't be hungry for a week. Wouldn't have to eat for a week, like in an emergency, because this is pretty much like manna in the Bible. It has so much energy behind it, and if you think about it, if you read the Bible and see how it just came out of nowhere, naturally, it just fell out of the sky. They found a body of water, like a spring or something like that, and it had this in there somewhere in the bottom of the earth, and it would just come up like all the springs you see, and the healing natural fountains and springs and stuff like that. That's probably what they are. It's probably just a piece of copper that got burned and just laid in the right way in a little pool of salt, and that's all it takes. And then you just clean the salt out with distilled water. It took me about 9 times to get that water clean. Like I had to refill it with regular water, and even the salt water from the beginning that went in the process, you can use that for cooking or whatever. But now that it's clean, it doesn't have any taste or anything. You could just pull it from the top, and then put it in your food when you cook. You can put it in your drinks and your coffee. You can drink like an ounce or 2 of it every day, and it'll prevent and cure any disease. Because they use this stuff to cure cancer, but the doctors that made this stuff and that do it, they don't really consume the water. They just put it next to you, or they put it in bags. They put it on your skin. It like works wirelessly, like through the skin. But the way that I do it, I just drink a little bit of it, and it keeps you fine. It keeps your weight down. You can eat junk food. You can eat stuff with poison in it, and it'll just clear it out. Like you don't have to worry about shit. It's automatic. And if you drink it, like even the fluoride in the toothpaste and stuff like that, you can add a little bit in there, or you could just rinse your mouth with a little bit of that plasma water, and it keeps your teeth white, and it prevents diseases too, because most diseases, the bad diseases, they come through your teeth. They come through your mouth. Your mouth is like a circuit breaker. So I don't know if you can see the little pieces floating in there, but they're there. They're tiny, and the way that it floats is very, very ghost-like. You can see, if you can zoom in, it's very ghost-like, and it just floats down kind of. It takes a long time to get down. For the whole amount to get down like that, it probably takes overnight or a few hours. You can tap it a little bit. It helps it. It sticks to the side a little bit. See, it does help it, but you don't really want to waste it. So you let it all fall to the bottom, and then you can use the water the next day. I use about half of that every day with my animal. I'll give it to my animals. My animals come and ask me for this pure, and when they drink it, they start coughing, like if it's a drug, but it's not. It's all natural, but it has an effect like caffeine and energy and takes your hunger away, but not to where you're not eating. It balances everything. It balances diseases in you. It works the same way Orgone does, kind of, in the way that it balances stuff. So anyway, that's GANs for you. Gas in aqueous nano state. You can find that on Quiche. It's at quiche.org, and he's the scientist, the doctor that invented or that discovered it, GANs, and it's free to open source. And he has videos on YouTube called Understanding Plasma Science, and it's like a 12 part video. It's a workshop. It's a bunch of doctors, and they show you exactly how to make it, what to use, what not to use. I mean, the videos it's 12 videos and they're 2 hours long. So that's like 30 hours, or I don't know. I did it all in one day because it's so interesting to me. And within a month, I had this stuff made. It takes a month to make it. Once you make it one time, all you have to do is refill it. It lasts your whole life. So this right here is amazing stuff, folks. Make it. Look it up on YouTube. Make it. It's worth it. Trust me. You can save a loved one's life with this stuff, or a pet. You can prolong your loved one's lives and pets for years with this stuff. With this stuff alone, it's amazing. And it helps for the storms and all that shit too. I put it in there and it helps. So it's not hurting. Trust me.